welcome to Comfort Zone. My name is Comfort. Today I'm going to make jollof rice with a twist. I'm using ground beef in my jollof rice. I again love this recipe. Jollof rice is common everywhere, especially in West Africa, but I am making jollof rice my way. You make it your way because it's your tummy that's going in, not what others are doing. But if you like the way other people cook it, by all means copy it, use it, it doesn't matter. So let me just go over my ingredients with you, what I'm going to use. I have 4 cups rice here. You can use whatever rice you like that works for you with making jollof rice. I'm also going to use Maggi cube. Again, Maggi cube comes in different flavors. You got the beef, you got the chicken, you got the shrimp, but over here I'm just using chicken, okay? And then I'm having my ground beef that I'm going to use, and I will also be using my chicken broth. I use chicken feet to make my chicken broth. I will make a video of how I make my chicken broth with chicken feet. It's quite interesting, that one too. I will use extra virgin olive oil, fresh tomatoes, green peppers. Again, I will use onions. I use the red onions, I use the white onions, and I use also the yellow onions. Again, my favorite, ginger, and I will use garlic. And I think, oh yeah, salt. Again, remember, I love this here. This is a smoked Henry fish and shrimp blended into a powder. And also my favorite cayenne pepper. I use that as well. And hot peppers, okay? So, and I will be blending all of that. I don't like making jollof rice with chopped ingredients in there. I like that pasty look of the of my sauce. So I blend everything up and I make my stew and then add the rice. So let's get to it. But before we start, I like washing my rice and put that on the side. It's just a habit, okay? This is my rice, but I leave it a little bit with the water, a little bit in there. And I'm just gonna set this on the side. I'm gonna bring my pot and turn on the gas stove. I don't know about you, but I love me some gas stove. If I have a choice, I would go with gas stove anytime. It makes my jollof rice much better for some reason. When I use electric stove, my jollof rice will be burning all over the place. All right, so now that we have the oil, you're gonna ask, okay, how much oil did you use? So I just let the oil just cover the base of my pan, and pretty much that's it. I would say it's like maybe a cup of oil or less than a cup of oil, all right? So that's happening over there. Matter of fact, now that you got me thinking, let me just get my measuring cup. So I'm gonna measure this for those who just wanna know how much oil I used. You see, I was right on the money. You see, when you cook a lot, you know exactly what you're doing. I used 1 cup of oil. For some, it might be a lot, but hey, it works for this recipe, okay? All right, so we're getting the oil hot, and while it's getting hot, I'm gonna go ahead and blend my ingredients. All right, so I'm going to use my chicken broth. I always put that as my base before I start blending. Because I don't like putting water. I don't know about you, but I don't like putting water when I'm blending my ingredients. I always feel I need flavor. Oh my goodness, this is hard to open. There we go. So you see, that's my chicken broth, and oh my God, you make it. You always make it the way you want, how you want it to taste, and then I use it. Even if I'm using beef, like I'm doing today, I will still use my chicken broth in my ingredients. I always blend my Maggi cube because it's so hard. Like if you don't blend it or get it to look soft or whatever, you can actually have it chunky in some part of your food and like, ooh, what happened? You know, so try to blend all that stuff together. All right. So my oil is getting warm and I'm going to put in my ground beef to get that nice and brown. So there we go. All right, let's get this together. That's done. Now let's add this. I usually just take it right out of the bag. You know, everybody have their own way they do ground beef. It's frozen. So I'm going to take this ground beef just like this and just put it into the hot oil is definitely going to get this going the way it needs to go. So we're going to dump it right in like that. Okay, don't worry about the fact that you didn't season it. It's not going to make any big difference, okay? So we finally got the ground beef where it needs to be. It's best to have it all nice and thawed before, but if you like me at this moment, you got to get food done and it's frozen, this is the best way to go. Get your oil hot, put the ground beef in, just work it out and it will turn the way it needs to, okay? So now that we have the ground beef where it needs to be, if you like me, sometimes you don't forget, sometimes you even forget what you want to cook, but yeah, if you like me and you like, man, I need this ground beef, but it's frozen, you take out time, all you gotta do is just warm, get your oil hot, put in your raw ground beef in the oil, and trust me, it will get back, keep mixing it, it will get back to where you want it to be, right? Nothing lost there. So now we're gonna take our blended ingredients that we did, which is, yes baby, we're gonna take our ingredients, which is the onions, the garlic, the ginger, and we're gonna mix that in. Okay. Again, try to avoid water if you can. That's why I use the broth as my water, okay? Because you want all the flavor that you can get in your jollof rice. You wouldn't listen. One thing you don't want is flavorless jollof rice. You don't want that. You want your jollof to taste from the moment you start eating to the second plate around, okay? Oh, beautiful now. Woo! Love this. So now your blended ingredients with the ground beef is just doing the most at this time, right? So just have that simmer away. This is when the smell starts coming. The aroma starts. Okay. So we are done with this. We're gonna wash that blender. OMG, look at this. This is all the spices at this time with the ground beef in there. And it's just simmering. We're gonna let it simmer a little more. And while we're waiting, we're going to blend our tomatoes and bell peppers, okay, while we wait. So I didn't wash out the onions. Stuff, we're gonna leave that in there and we're just gonna keep adding because that has already enough spices. We don't want to waste that spice. There's no need to. All these has been pre-washed, so don't think I'm just throwing dirt here, you know. I keep the seed of the tomatoes. So you notice I only have one pot. I don't have two pots. My ground beef, my jollof rice, everything is going to be done with one pot. You know, there's no need having 2-3 pots. Just make this jollof rice. One pot. That's all you need. That's all you need. I don't use tomato paste. Because of that, I tend to use a lot of fresh tomatoes to make my jollof rice. And because I don't use tomato paste, my jollof rice doesn't get the color like a normal jollof rice will get. But that's okay. You know, it's not about the color. It's about the taste for me. It's about the taste. But there's other people that really, really are big with color of how the jollof rice should look. That's fine. But why would you want to have a good looking jollof rice and the taste is terrible? No, it's the taste for me. It's not the color. But if you do get the color right, by all means. So now we're adding our bell peppers to this now. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to taste this to see if I need to put any salt or more Maggi cube into it. Let's see. Oh my god. What? So now the onions, the garlic, the ginger is nice and blended with the ground beef. And again, this is where you want to be with that mixture. So now I'm about to add my tomato and green peppers into my mixture. Everything in. And because tomato comes with so much water, you're gonna have to let it simmer for a while to get all the water to eventually evaporate from your stew. Right? You literally want to have the stew exactly the way you want it before you add any rice to it, because once that rice hit it, forget it. If it's not tasting the way you want it to taste, you're not going to get it back. So make sure you get it right at this time. This area right here is where you need to get the sauce right, and that's what makes your jollof rice amazing. Alright? So let's leave this tomato to really simmer out all the juices out, and we'll be back when that happens. I'm going to show you a little bit of what's happening. It's still not ready yet for you to add your rice, but I want you to know, if you see this in your pot or what's happening here, you still have a lot of water in it. Okay, so you want, it's not gravy yet. You see, there's a lot of water on the surface. So we're going to leave this a little more, I know, but you have to get it right the first time. Okay, so the sauce will come, the water will evaporate from this, and a nice thick sauce will come so that you can add your rice to it. Alright, so we'll come back and I'll show you what it should really look like when the water evaporated. Right. So finally, this is how you should see your sauce, right? Nice and thick, water all gone, most of it at least. Alright, so we're going to taste this and then see if I need to add anything else, because you need to get it right from this point. After this point, once you add your rice, as I said, you're done, right? So get the sauce right. Let me just taste. Perfect. Perfect. I don't have to add anything, but I want to have that smoke taste a little bit in my jollof. So I'm going to use about, oh my gosh, you can smell the shrimp and the fish, the hairy fish. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of this because I really like the smell from it. Okay, so put that in there. No more pepper, but I will put a pinch of salt in there. Alright, perfect. You see, remember I said that I soaked my rice earlier before? So what happened is the rice soaks up the water that was left with it after you rinse it. And for me, I find that this makes it cook better. Instead of you keep adding water to your rice, okay? The thickness of the sauce, no more water looking, and there's not a lot of oil either. No, not at all. It's all nice and gravy. So now let's add the rice. Just add the rice. And let's mix it all in. Because I use fresh tomatoes, my jollof rice doesn't really have that reddish look. You can have tomato paste, but I personally don't like the taste of tomato paste. I like the taste of fresh tomatoes. So it's up to you if you want to add tomato paste in it to give you that color that you want. But this works fine for me. Hey, if you have a good pot that can keep all the steam in and you don't have to, it's not escaping or whatever, by all means do it. But whether good pot or not, an extra layer of something in your pot to keep the moisture in more goes a long way. Alright, I'm going to put a foil over the rice before I put the lid on. So I'm going to mix it. I still haven't added any water to this rice because the sauce still have, you know, I'm letting the rice soak as much as it can and let it just, I'm just going to leave this in here for a while, my foil. Leave it like this for a while and I'll come back and check on it. Hopefully I don't have to add too much water to it, but yeah, right now no water added, and I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit, maybe about 10 minutes, and I'll come back and check on it. If I have to sprinkle a little water in it, I will. If not, the rice will be ready. Alright, so you see all that water, the steam. This is a good pot because it's holding all that steam in. So let's see now what's happening to our rice. If we need to add water to it, oh my god, see all that, that's beautiful. I'm using a fork to mix this up. Lower this fire. So I didn't add any water at all. Maybe it's because of the type of rice I'm using. But so far it looks good. I don't need to add any water. Let me taste. Whew. If it's beautiful. I don't have to add any water. So I would just let the foil and it's steaming, and we're pretty good. You can see the ground beef in the jollof rice. Oh my god, this is perfect. And it does have the color, but not as much as you would on the jollof rice. But this color works for me. Just gonna put back the foil, and it's done. Really, we're just gonna keep it on low for about maybe another 15 more minutes and it's ready to eat. Okay, so this is it. Okay, this is it. The jollof rice is done, and again, I did not add any water to it. This foil really kept all the moisture inside. This foil did the work. So and again, if you have a really good pot that's going to seal in water, the steam is good. So here, this is how your rice should look like if you use my method in cooking your jollof rice. Alright, so I'm going to let the camera take a little closer look. Alright, you can see the ground beef in there. Oh my god, you can't go wrong with this. So I'm going to go ahead and dish out and show you on this little plate here how it should look like. What you're talking about here. If you can always have like a salad on the side with this, whatever vegetables you want to have. But oh my god, see that? You see all of it. So this is the color you get with fresh tomatoes. I didn't add any tinned tomatoes to it because I really don't like the taste of tinned tomatoes. So here, taste. Ooh, it's hot. I love the fact that the rice is just one, not cooked together. The pepper is just right. The salt. Oh my god. The oil. Oh my god, it's not even oily. So you can follow it to the way that you would like it to be. So thank you very much for watching this show to the end. My name is Comfort. This is Comfort Zone, and I just cook jollof rice my way using ground beef. You can use any other kind of beef you want to use, pork or chicken or turkey. I choose to use ground beef for this recipe. But thanks again for joining me.